Let me know once I able to see my screen.
Yeah, Bhaskar, it is visible.
Okay, fine. So till now we have seen all the major concepts of SQL. Okay, and we do have a concept of views. Okay, so views that we will be using it in real time. Okay, so we'll be using views definitely, but so there are different types of views that we wanted to understand, that we should know. Okay, so first of all, what is view and what are the different types of views are there? Okay, so view is a database object which is logical representation of a table. View is logical representation of a table. Okay, so it is going to be delivered the data from a table, but it's not going to occupy any storage. Okay, so because whenever we create a table and we insert the data, so that data is going to occupy some memory. Okay, but view is not going to occupy any memory because it is going to give the data from different tables. Okay, so basically how the view is going to work is, so view will be created on top of a select statement. View is going to be created on top of a select statement. So that select statement, whenever we execute a view, the backend, whatever the select statement is created, with that result the view will be displayed. Okay, so view is going to take the output from the query and treat it as a table. So by seeing that, if you put select star from a view name, like it's going to give the data like a table, but it's not actually a table. Okay, so it will be executing the backend select statement and it will give us the result. Okay, so there are two types of views: simple views and complex views. Simple view is nothing but whatever the backend select statement that we are going to write, and if that select statement that if at all we are going to use only one table, then we are going to call it as a simple view. Complex view meaning, so if you are going to write very big select statement with multiple tables and multiple joins, okay, so that we will say it's a complex view. First of all, let me show you how the view is going to be there. How view is going to be executed. Let's say I have an employee table. So what this employee table is to be, this is having this data. Okay, so in real time, okay, sometimes what we are going to, like, what kind of a situation is going to come is, uh, majorly these views will be created for the reporting purpose. Okay, so we as a developers, when we do our developments to load the data from source tables to the target tables, on top of it the reports will be generated. Okay, so there are several reporting tools like Power BI, ClickView, like that. There are several tools are there. So those tools will consume this data. So whatever the data that we have loaded into our tables, that tables data will be consumed by the reporting team. Now, when we give direct access to the reporting team, okay, so instead of giving direct access to the reporting team, what we will do, we will create a view and we will give the view to the reporting team. Okay, because sometimes we don't want to disclose our tables. Okay, so what we will do, so boss, tell me what is your requirement. According to your requirement, we'll generate a view and give you. We won't disclose that which data is present in which tables, or the reporting people simply what they'll say that we are not the SQL experts, and we are not the SQL experts. So what we will do is we will just give the requirement. So just create a view on top of it and give us. So because if at all we wanted to create a view, it will take more time. So since you are the developers of ETL, then you will be having good knowledge. Okay, now they share us the requirements. According to their requirement, we are going to build a view. So basically, all you have to understand is, so view is logical representation of a table, and view is not going to store any memory, because and view will be created on top of a select statement, whatever the select statement that we are going to use. So whenever we execute select star from view, it is going to run the backend select statement and will give us the data. Now let me create a view. Create view name, let's say. So always we have to follow some naming standards. Okay. Whenever we create any view, so the view name will be either v underscore or vw underscore will be there. Okay. So v underscore or vw underscore will be there. So v underscore emp department number one. Okay. So this view is creating. So always the view name should be meaningful name. So this view is created for employee table to display department number one data as select star from emp where department number equal to 1. Now this view is created. So when I execute view, when I execute select star from a view, now this is the view, right? When I execute this view, what it is going to do, it will execute this select statement and will give us the data. Let me run it. It is given all department number one data because we have an explicit condition. We have an explicit condition here where department number equal to 1. So if at all we wanted to change anything in the SQL statement, so there are two ways to update this view select statement. Either we can drop this view and we can recreate, or we can put create or replace. Let's say I don't want this where condition. So view is created. Now when I put select star from view name, I'm getting all the data. Okay, so why I'm getting all the data? Because the backend select statement, the backend select statement is giving all the data. Hence, when we put select star from view also, we are getting all the data. Okay, so we can use create or replace to update the select statement whatever we have written. Let's say if I'm put to where department number equal to 2. Now view is created. Then we execute select star from view, getting only department number 2 data. Okay, now since this is a simple view, because a view is created with only one table. Okay, whatever the select statement that is being used to create a view, and in that select statement, if there is only one table involved, that we will call it as a simple view. So for simple views, we can perform DML operations. For simple views, we can perform DML operations. DML operations meaning when we when we delete some record from view, then it's going to delete the data from the backend table, because the view is not going to have its own memory. View is not going to store any data. So always whenever we execute select star from table, it will just execute backend select statement and give us the data. delete from this view where department number equal to 3 if I put. Dude, we don't have any department number 3 data. So we in the table we have, but the view result when we execute this view, the view result is not giving department number 3 data. So because of that, the DML operation would not able to perform. Where it's not deleting the data because the data will be deleted only for the records which are coming from the view. Okay, let's say I'm going to replace 3. Now when I execute select star from view, I'm getting one record for department number 3. See, now one row is deleted. Now when I execute the same view, I'm not getting any data because so the DML operation, the delete operation basically, which is deleted the data which is coming from this view. And when we delete it, it is going to reflect in the backend table.
Bhaskar, can you please run select start from employee table again? Let us check whether it was deleted or not.
It
Okay.
is deleted. It
Okay.
will delete. It will delete the employee table data. That's what I told, right? Because it will reflect in the backend tables. Since so when we delete the data from a view, since it is a simple view, right? So it will understand from which table I have to delete the record. If at all there is a complex view where we have used multiple tables and multiple joins, okay, when we try to delete the data, then it will not understand from which table I have to delete this record. But first of all, it is not at all advisable to do any DML operation on top of a view. We should not at all use it. Okay, so because if at all we wanted to delete something, so we delete some record, we should go to the backend table and delete it.
Okay, Bhaskar, got it. And one more doubt, Bhaskar, like, so we have created a table and view also, right? So whatever the schema that we have, everything will be available in the view table as well, right? So now we have a employee table in a table schema, and we have view employee department number 1 in the view schema. Am I right? So whatever we are uploading
Yes,
into a employee table, that will automatically come to the view table.
yes. It will automatically come. We see it's not like coming or going like that. See, whenever we execute select star from a view, at that point in time, it will execute the query.
Okay, so we just want to create a table before we're going it, right? In
We
that
should
point,
we need to have a table, and the table should have data. So whenever we execute select star from view, at that point in the backend, it is going to execute this select statement.
okay, okay, Bhaskar, got it.
At that point, this select statement will execute.
Bhaskar, we can also use the rollback and commit even in view also we can use it.
We should.
Sure.
Because delete is a DML operation, right? Now when I execute, I did rollback now.
Everywhere we use the delete and like the DML operations, everywhere we can use the rollback.
Everywhere. Yes. We should use either rollback we should use or commit we have to use. Otherwise, that data, like when we close this one, it will not be committed automatically.
Or even in the views, if you want to check the data, once we
Wherever,
close and come back,
wherever.
it won't reflect the data. Even if you not commit the use the commit.
But that will be happen only when we close this SQL developer.
Okay.
Okay, so but wherever we perform any DML operation, be it a view or be it a table or be it a synonym, we should use either rollback or commit. See, that is the reason always it is not advisable to do DML operation on top of a synonym or on top of a view. It is always advisable to do DML operation on top of a table only. Because For tables, everybody will be clear that we should use DML operations. Okay, so we should use the DML. We should use DML operation on top of it table only. Sometimes what is going to happen? These Oracle database versions are going up, right? Like the keep on new versions are coming up. So in one version they give a flexibility. When we delete the data from a view, it is deleting all the matching records from all the different tables. Let's say we have a department table, employee table, and employee table is having department number, and the department table also is having department number. When we delete from view where department number equal to something, then it is deleting the data from employee table and department table, because department number one column is there in both the tables. Actually, we should not do that. We should understand, we should explicitly give an instruction that, so I wanted to delete this particular record is from this table only. Okay, so that's the reason. So just for the sake of interview, so can we perform DML operations? When we perform DML operation, what is going to happen? So these kind of questions will be coming in interview. Just for the interview purpose, like so we should know whether DML operations will be performed or will work on views or not. But ideally, we should not supposed to do any DML operations on top of a view. Not a standard way of doing DML operation. Okay.
Okay, Bhaskar, it's clear.
Okay.
So when we create a view, right, we can create any SQL statement. So there is no hard rule that only select star from table should be there, or only select some columns from table should be there, like that. There is no hard rule. Okay, whatever the select statement that we are going to write it, so the view will be executing that select statement and give us the result. So as per the requirement, so we can customize our select statements like anything. Okay, so as per our requirements, we can customize our SQL statements. Okay, the next one is inline view. So inline views that we have seen, basically till now we have seen a select statement in a where class. So whenever we write a select statement in a where class, what we will call it as? Whenever we write a select statement in a where class, what we will call it as? Can someone tell? Subquery, right? Okay, so whenever we write any select statement in a where class, that we will call it as a subquery. Okay, so whenever we write a select statement in a where class, sorry, in a from class, whenever we write any select statement in a from class, that we will call it as inline view. So now, so in this select statement, see the example of this select statement or the question for the select statement is, so I wanted all the details of employee whoever having maximum salary in their department. I wanted all the details of an employee whoever having maximum salary in their department. This is one of the very important interview question. So the questions will be coming like this: how to get all the details of employee whoever having max whoever having maximum salary in their department. This is how interview question is going to come. So we have to split up this question and we have to write the query. So how to get all the details of an employee? Meaning we wanted to get all the details of employee, meaning all the columns of employee table. whoever having maximum salary in their department. Maximum salary in their department. Now there are two things here. One is all the details of employees needed for people who are having only the maximum salary. So in this case, what we should do? First, we should identify every department what is the maximum salary. And that salary we have to join with employee table to get all the details of employee. So let's start from employee E. Inner join. So we have to write a SQL statement. So this is one select statement used for to get all the details of employee. Now we have to write one more select statement to get the maximum salary of the department. Select department number, comma, max salary as max salary from employee group by department number. First, what the select statement is going to do? Okay, the table name is not employee, it is EMP. Okay, what this select statement is going to do? It is going to give for every department what is the maximum salary, right? And then, so this result that we are joining with employee table on E dot department number equal to E1 dot department number and E dot salary equal to E1 dot maximum salary. Okay, now first we are identifying for every department what is the maximum salary and that department number with maximum salary value that we are doing, that we are joining, so that we are going to get all the data of the person whoever having maximum salary in their department. So now we are getting 3 rows for every department whoever having maximum salary, that person details that we are getting it. Okay, so this is how we are going to get requirements. In this case, what we should do? So we should first understand the question. What is the exact question? We have to split them into pieces. We have to prepare separate SQLs for the pieces, and then we have to join all the pieces to get the required result. Okay, now what we are doing here, we are writing a select statement in a from class. So this we will call it as inline view. Whenever we see any select statement in a from class, that we will call it as inline view. Any question? Anyone having any question here?
Bhaskar, that E1 is a suffix name only, right?
Yeah, it is an alias name. It is an alias name.
Alias name. Okay.
Alias name of the select statement, whatever I executed, or it is there in the from class.
For from you have mentioned alias name as E. From select statement you have mentioned as E1.
E1, because this is going to be form one table, and this is also one of the table.
Table.
Okay, this is the physical existence of a table. This is logical existence. So this will create a backend temporary table at the time of execution, and the table will be deleted again because the join will be performed only on the tables.
Okay.
And also even we can use views also in the join conditions. So there is no, because when we create a view, and that view we can perform in the join conditions. So with select star from what we can do is whatever that I highlighted, right? So with this we can create a view. With this we can create a view, and we can use that view. Instead of going for inline view, we can go for normal view also. Okay, create view name v underscore employee maxall as the select statement. Guys, please go on it. So instead of view, we are instead of using this select statement in the from class. Okay, this we will call it as inline view, right? Instead of going for an inline view, you can go for a normal view. This also is going to give the same result, because in the backend again this is going to execute this select statement only.
Okay, Bhaskar.
Okay, either we can go for an inline view or we can go for a normal view. Okay, so inline view will be, we can use inline views if at all the select statement is very simple. Okay, so we can use inline view if at all the select statement is simple. But if the select statement is complex, then we should go for a view. We can create a view and we can use that view in the join condition, because if the select statement is very big, then it will be very much confusing for the parent select statement. And also if at all there is any changes in the inline view, it will be difficult to do the changes. Okay, so that we have to separate them into two pieces. So for this requirement, this is the view, and for this table we have to join with this view. That's it. So that we are going to get the required result, and if at all there is any changes, that we can do easily without any confusions. Okay.
Okay, Bhaskar.
Question? Any others? Anyone having any question? Let's see, yes or no.
Bhaskar, in real time, which one you use, like inline view or
That's
just
what I
normal?
told, right? Based on the requirement, we have to go for inline view or a normal view. Okay, if the select statement is very smaller one, okay, so like this. If the select statement is like this, that simple select statement, then we can go for an inline view. We don't need to create a separate view for it. Okay, because when we are going to create a separate view also, we have to give a justification, like for what reason you are creating this view, because we have to migrate this from dev environment to the UAT and UAT to the production. We have to migrate. When we are migrating it, we have to share this SQL also. Okay, now that time we have to give a justification for what purpose we are creating this view. Okay, so if the select statement is simple, we can go for inline view. If the select statement is bigger, then we can go for normal view.
In real time, Bhaskar, the tables will be like in the number of rows is more, right? It will take the same time to run both the queries. It will take the same time, or with the views, it will take more or a lot, like less. Is there any difference in that?
Both are same. Both are same only. There will not be any difference with the inline view or a normal view with respect to the performance. Both are going to take the same time, because here when we use in inline view also, it is going to run the same select statement. If you are going to execute the view also, it is going to run the same select statement, so that it's not going to be any differ. But one option that we have to improve is, if at all this select statement is taking time, if we create a view, so then the view will be having, the normal view will be having a plain select statement where we can apply some kind of performance tuning techniques here, so that this is not going to impact the main select statement. Okay, but so we can do the performance tuning techniques even here also in the inline view, but the query will be little clumsy. Okay, what kind of performance tuning techniques that we can do, that I'll explain in tomorrow's class. Okay, but with respect to the performance, both are same only. Both are going to give the result at the same time.
Thank you.
Okay, the next concept is materialized view. Okay, so till now we have seen normal views of simple and complex. Now we do also have a concept of materialized view. So these materialized views will be majorly used by the reporting teams. Okay, so because when the tables are having millions of data, and when we see the reports, okay, when the Power BI team or ClickView team or Tableau team, so whoever the reporting team it is, so when they are generating some kind of reports, they will be doing aggregations on top of the data, whatever is there in the database. Let's say when they are getting the data to display for last 1 year. Okay. Now the 1 year report that has to be generated. So when 1 year report has to be generated, meaning all the records have to be summed up and give us a single report, right? Single record. So that record they are going to show in a report. Can you go on mute, please? So when we have to do many aggregations on top of select statements, so already the table volumes are huge in size, and if this is also going to take time, then when we click on something in the report, it will take more time for us to get the data. Like the performance will not be that good, because the backend views will be created. The views will be having many big select statements. The select statements will be having many tables, and many tables are having with multiple joins. So whenever we click something, it has to execute the backend select statement with all those joins, with all the tables, and it has to give the data. Okay, so in order to do that, so it is going to take some time, right? So if at all that kind of a situation is there, then we can go for materialized view. So materialized view is going to store the data on its own. It is going to store the data, but still it is going to be created on top of a select statement. It's going to be created on top of a select statement. But so whenever we execute this materialized view, at that point in time, whatever the result is coming from the select statement, with that data, the data will be stored in the materialized view. Then after that, whatever the DML operations that you are going to do it in the table, base table, not the view, in the base table, like inserts, deletes, it is not going to reflect until unless we are going to refresh this materialized view. We have a concept of refresh. Until unless we are going to refresh this materialized view, the backend table changes won't be get reflected in the materialized view, because whenever we create or refresh the materialized view at that point in time, so it is kind of a truncate and reload. So it will remove all the data in the materialized view, and it will reload with the data which is coming from the select statement. Okay, so materialized view will be created, and it will store the data on its own. So it is going to be created on top of a select statement. Whenever we execute the select statement, at that point in time, whatever the data which is there in the table or which is coming from the select statement result, with that data, the materialized view will be created and stored. So then it will become a single table. Okay, on top of this materialized view, if you perform any if you perform any report generations, it is not going to take much time, because now we don't need to perform all those joins, everything, because whatever the data which is there in the materialized view, that itself a result of the select statement. So that we don't need to execute the same select statement and again. Okay, so we have a possibility, we have a functionality of refresh, and so we can schedule for refresh also. For every 4 hours it has to, we can refresh. For every 1 hour we can refresh. Okay, like that we can refresh for every, or for every 1 day we can refresh. As per the requirements, we can apply the refresh functionality.
If you are deleting any row or any data from material view, it won't reflect in the backend table, right?
It won't reflect in the backend table because it is going to store the
Okay.
memory here.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so I'll create one materialized view for you guys. Just show that as well. MV underscore employee underscore MV underscore EMB. So I'm just creating materialized view on top of employee table. So this is for, so, and one hard rule when we create a materialized view is it should have a primary key. Okay, it should have a primary key. So that is one thing that we need to make sure that the primary key constraint is defined on top of it. Any one column is there or not. Okay, that is one thing that we need to make sure. But these materialized views rarely we used, but for interview purpose you have to learn this. So primary key is not there. Let me add a primary key. After table name, add constraint name, key underscore MPID, primary key of this employee table is having duplicate data. Now I have created the primary key constraint. Okay. Okay, create materialized view as select star from employee table. Okay, now so when I created this particular view, MV select select star from MV underscore MP. We have 7 records because this materialized view stored some data. Now what I'm going to do, delete a record main table EMP where department number equal to 3. Now what I'm doing, I'm just deleting a record from employee table. This is the base table. Now when I execute select star from MV, I have all the data, right? Now when I put select star from EMP employee table, I don't have that record. Department number 3 record I don't have, but it is there in the view because the view is created with the result of the select statement when it is being created. Okay, so whenever we create a view, that point in time, whatever the data which is there, with that only the data will be get created. The view will be created and the data will be stored. Okay, now there are two ways in real time. Okay, so in real time, always it is preferred to refresh automatically. The view should be automatically refreshed for every 4 hours or every 5 hours. So this is the syntax to schedule the refresh view. To schedule the refresh, or if at all we have to do manual refresh, then we have to use this query. Okay, PLSQL processors completed. Now when I execute select star from MV, see I don't have department number 3 because so dbms.mview refresh, so it is refreshed this materialized view, C meaning complete. Okay, so it did a complete refresh. It did a complete refresh. Because of that, the data whatever is deleted in the base table, that is not there in the materialized view now. Because whenever we execute a refresh, it will again it is going to execute the select statement, and whatever the data which is there in the select statement, it will come out. Now when I do a rollback.
So Bhaskar, before refresh, before refresh, suppose we deleted that one data in the main table, then material, if you select the materialized view, then data will refresh, right?
I did a rollback. So I did a delete. I have refreshed the materialized view and I did a rollback now. Okay. When I execute this select star from EMP, that time I did a commit or what?
Yes, you did commit, I think so, Bhaskar.
Okay. Let's say I delete department number 2. I will not perform any commit or rollback. See, I have only department number 1 data. But for the materialized view, I have department number 1 and 2 data. Okay. Now I am refreshing. When I refresh it, again when I execute select star from materialized view, I have only department number 1 data. Okay. I execute a rollback. Now when I execute select star from EMP, see the data is not coming. So what is happening here? So this MView, whenever we are refreshing it, so it is passing interim commit to the base tables. So if at all any DML operations are performed, it is automatically committing it before it is refreshing it. This materialized view, when it is going to refresh, it is passing commit automatically. Okay, with we passing the commit, it is passing by this dbms.mvu. So this is kind of a procedure. So this is a system generated procedure. Okay, so this is going to have functionality to refresh the materialized view, so that it is passing commit, so that it is going to take only the data which is permanently stored in the database. Okay. So this is the
So Bhaskar, in the real-time scenario, so which view is preferable, in normal view or materialized view?
It depends upon the requirements. Okay, if the requirement says the select statement is giving the select statement is giving huge volume. Okay, and it is taking more time. Okay, but so in the front end application, when we click on something, it should immediately give the report. So we don't want to wait like in 30 seconds or 1 minute or 2 minutes. In that case, we can go for materialized view. See, the drawback of materialized view is it's not going to give real-time data. Drawback of materialized view is it's not going to give the real-time data. Real-time data in the sense, when we execute in normal view, it will give the live data. Like when select star from table, it will give the data immediately, right? But in case of materialized view, it will give the live data only when we do the refresh. Okay, if we schedule to refresh for every 1 hour or 2 hours, so that in that 1 hour or 2 hours time frame, whatever the DML operations are performed on the database table, we are not going to see them. That is the one drawback of materialized view. But with respect to the performance, let's say in real time, these Informatica jobs also we are going to schedule. Okay, we are going to schedule to read the data from source and load the data into the target table. Okay, so in that case, if at all we scheduled daily execution, so the data in the backend tables are not going to refresh every minute or every hour, right? Because the tables will be replaced based on the schedule Informatica, based on the schedule in Informatica too. Okay, if it is for every day, so then we can go for a materialized view if the select statement is taking more time, because the data is not refreshing for every 1 minute or 2 minutes. It is refreshing for one day, every 1 day or every 6 hours or every 12 hours. So accordingly, we can refresh the materialized views. But there are some jobs where we are going to load the real-time data. Like whenever we are getting the data in source, the jobs will be in keep running mode and the data will be keep reflecting in the target tables. Are such kind of a situations where we cannot go for materialized view, because materialized view is required a refresh. But we should know how each view is going to work. Normal view, how it is going to execute. Materialized view, how it is going to execute. At what situation we have to use which view. So no one is going to tell us. Or sometimes architects, if at all proper architects are there, so the architects will tell us. So this is the materialized view you have to create. This is the normal view we have to create, and this is the view requirement. Like that, if the architect whoever is going to give the requirements, they will tell us which view we should go for. Either we should go for materialized view or we should go for normal view. Okay.
Okay, Bhaskar, I have only one thing. So you have altered the table for employee, right, to add a primary key. So while creating
Yes.
a view on this, whether it is added now, because we have not mentioned anything for the primary key while creating a
Yeah, because we have to we have to mention when we are going to create with the refresh. But it is always advisable to go with the primary key, because in real time, whenever you are using the tables, like if it is a proper data warehouse table, then you should be having sequence generated numbers 1 2 3 4 5 dimension keys that we will say. So when we have a dimension keys, we should have a primary key constraint. Or if you wanted to create with the refresh, then we should go with the primary key.
In this case, we can go while creating a table itself. Now, while creating a table itself, we can use a primary key
Yes,
for
yes,
employee
yes,
ID or what.
yes. Yeah, because sometimes there will be a kind of a view requirements will come after few years when we created these tables. So that time we
That
have to
time we
alter
can
the
go with
existing
the
table.
alter.
Yes, that time we have to go with the alter.
Okay, Bhaskar.
Others? Nirisha? Jayanta? Others? Anyone?
No doubts, Bhaskar.
Okay, I think this is
So
enough for
what
today.
is truncate sysdate 1 plus 4 bar 24, Bhaskar? You can see the query. Isn't
This one.
you told that there are two ways
Every
of
next 4 hours.
refresh query, right? One you have
This is the automated process. This is the automated process. Even sometimes, right? This is table level automated process. If not, we can give this view to the control M team, and the control M team or who the scheduling team, they will also refresh it. They will also schedule to refresh this materialized view.
okay, 4 times in a day, plus 4 bar 27, no? 4 times in a day.
For every 4 hours, 24 is
4
24
hours.
hours a day. For every 4 hours.
Okay, okay. Okay, Bhaskar.
Yeah, this is enough for today. So there will be one more class for SQL, like indexes and query tuning approach. That's it. Okay. So with this, we can conclude. We can complete SQL process tomorrow.
Okay, Bhaskar. Yeah.